Dear learner, welcome to Module 4, Curriculum Development. The word curriculum originated from a Latin word currere, which means race course or a course of race. In layman's language, we can say that the total learning experience which a child gets in a class can be termed as curriculum. So, curriculum development is a process of improving the curriculum. So, various approaches have been used in developing curricula. Commonly used approaches consist of analysis, that is, need analysis, task analysis, design, selecting, then formation, and so these are some of the process of curriculum development. So, curriculum development requires a systematic approach to make it relevant to all programs and courses. So, curriculum development is an evolutionary process. So, before the curriculum is finalized, it has to be put through a series of developmental stage, which you can see it here. So, first is that training need assessment we do. After that is detailed curriculum development, where the curriculum is developed. Then it goes for testing and material review. Then trainings of the trainers are done. After that is peer review and material editing is done. Then curriculum rollout. And in the end, it is evaluating and refining the curriculum based on the feedback which they get. So, this is the process of curriculum development. Subject centered curriculum designs revolve around a particular subject matter or discipline, and the curriculum is divided into subject areas. This type of curriculum design tends to focus on the subject rather than the individual. Subject centered curriculum designs describes what needs to be studied and how it should be studied. Here, the emphasis is placed on acquisition, memorization, and knowledge of each specific content area. Within this curriculum structure, strong emphasis is placed on instruction, teacher to student explanation, and direct strategies. So, direct strategies include lectures, questions, and answers, as well as teacher students discussions. So, core curriculum it can be an example of subject centered design which can be standardized across schools, states, and the country as a whole. So, in standardized core curricula, teachers are provided a predetermined list of things that they need to teach their student, along with specific examples of how these things should be taught. So, curricula organized around a given subject area, for example, World War I or II, will look at the facts, ideas, and skills of that subject area. So, learning activities and then planned around acquisition and memorization of these facts, ideas, and skills. So, teaching methods usually include oral discussions and explanations, lectures, and questions. So, we can find subject centered designs in schools and even in large colleges, classes where teachers focus on a particular subject or in a discipline. So, characteristics of subject centered, let's see the approach. So, this is the oldest and perhaps most obvious way to organize curriculum. So, this type of curriculum separates knowledge into various content areas. Modern schools, particularly middle and high schools, tend to operate in this fashion. Students take classes in English language, mathematics, science, social studies, fine arts, careers, and technical education, and so forth. So, what is this focus of approach here? So, in this set subject centered approach to curriculum, each content area contains its own set of skills and concepts for mastering that content. For example, in science, students learn about scientific method and science related vocabulary. So, this knowledge is then used when students conduct experiments and investigations. So, in English, students are taught grammatical rules which they will need to produce appropriate written products. So, teachers in these subject areas are specialists in their content. So, when we talk about type of content, so here the schools that maintain a subject centered approach categorize subjects into three different types: Common content represents subjects all students must study, like English, Hindi, and all. In elementary school, this consists of arithmetic, reading, and writing, that is the three R's. In secondary school, these subjects include math, science, and social studies, history, geography, political science, psychology, and so on, and plus language arts. So, special content describes classes that prepare students for specific professions. So, these might include vocational and technical education courses. So, elective content refer to optional classes students can take their further their knowledge and skills. So, these might include college courses taken while still in high school, advanced auto mechanic courses, or special interest courses such as photography or aeronautics. So, objectives and accountability is that that is, the curriculum is students' mastery over the content knowledge. So, this is the central objective of any subject centered approach. So, the teacher presents content and skills to students in a logical sequence. This step by step approach ensures that students gain all the information and skills needed to master this content area. There is little or no emphasis on the overlap of various subjects. So, teachers only present the subject matter from the individual subject and are only accountable for students' mastery of their content area. So, some of the advantages of subject centered curriculum is that it is a teacher centered too, hence, here the teacher is a whole soul. So, teachers can use their previous experiences to teach here. Next can be listening to lectures, studying the textbook, and studying for examinations are all practices that show the influence of the subject centered curriculum approach. The subject teacher considers it of great importance to cover the prescribed textbook since a specific amount of subject matter is to be learned in a set time. If subject matter has been learned, the teacher and students both feel satisfied. Here, much emphasis is also placed upon acquiring information which are helpful to the students for their future use. Then, progress is also measured by how much the subject or a pupil has learned. So, as the subject matter is an important thing to be learned, learning is measured by how well the subject matter has been mastered. So, for this, frequent tests are given to check the extent of achievement by the student. Subject matter is selected by adults previous to the teaching learning situation. So, as the subject matter is taught in logically and organized discipline, therefore, the content of the course is selected before it is taught. So, for this purpose, they receive help from subject matter specialists, supervisors, administrator, and textbook writers. So, the disadvantages of subject centered curriculum are the primary drawback of the subject centered curriculum design is that it is not student centered. So, in particular, this form of curriculum design is constructed without taking into account the specific learning styles of the students. So, this can cause problems with students' engagement and motivation and may even cause students to fall behind in class. It promotes passive learning because the students are discouraged from entertaining a different point of view than what textbook or teacher present. The subject matter has already been chosen by experts in the different subjects, by school boards, and by teachers, and deemed of value for students to learn. It is of critical importance while students become little more than respectables to be filled rather than thinking, rational individuals who need to be part of the learning process. So, the subject centered curriculum fosters not excitement about learning and knowledge, but passivity. And next is the traditional subject centered curriculum. It depends upon a system of authority. So, teachers have this authority here, students are not part of the authority hierarchy. It does not offer a wide range of options that take into account ethnic background, family situations that impact learning, or different learning styles of the students. Material is covered and does not change regardless of the needs of the individual students or classes. The materials must be taught, and students are expected to absorb the material in the time allotted and the way the teacher has asked you to absorb. That is also important here. So, here we can say that there is very little flexibility for cross curricular activity. Traditionally, students had little choice about what they studied under these curricula. Now, students are given some degree of freedom in choosing elective subjects. They are also given more importance to choose from among key topics of personal project work. So here you can see these are some of the disadvantages of the subject centered. Hope you have enjoyed this session. Happy learning.